Insights with Terri Ep.116, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.116. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.116. Thank you so much for joining me this week of April the 10th through the 16th, 2023. First of all, I would like to belatedly wish all of you a happy Easter. I'm actually recording this on Easter morning, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. A little nippy out there, but the sun is out, it's glorious. All the birds are shaking their feathers in the beautiful morning sun and just waking up, stretching their little feet. The dogs are just laying out in the sun, trying to catch the rays that they can, just enjoying this beautiful spring weather, and I hope all of you get a chance to do it this week. I understand this week is going to be amazing, so get out there and enjoy that sun. We need the sun. Now, speaking of the sun in a fire sign, we are still in that Aries energy in the sun sign, so we still have that fiery kind of impulse type of energy so that it can, propel us towards jumping into something. Now we've got to be careful. We've talked about this for the last couple of weeks. We have to be careful not to jump into something that isn't a frying pan. But it gives us that little start that we might need to get something going and just get some energy moving around in our bodies and get some projects started anyway. I think the hardest part sometimes is starting. And then Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that's in Taurus. Now, just kind of, take a breath. On the 21st, it will go retrograde. I have been feeling it for 2 weeks already. So it's going to be a decent retrograde, allowing us to look backwards to see how things are going for us and how we want our future to take off when it goes forward again. So that retrograde is a great time to go back over your records, and you'll see glaring mistakes, to go back over some of the things that you hold to be true. And it's a very hard thing to look at some of the things that we held to be true and thought we were not wrong, and to find out that we were wrong for a very long time about something. So this retrograde offers that opportunity to do that for us so that we can reassess and say, is this really working for me? Is this something that is important to me that I can bring forward and maybe build on or just get rid of? And sometimes some things are better gotten rid of. So this retrograde will allow it to expand in our thinking. There's a couple of other planets I want to talk about expansion as well. Now, like I said, it's not until the 21st, and it's still forward, but our sensitive people are going to feel it way ahead of time. And the bull is strong-minded and determined, and an energy field that allows for us to, really stick with it. The bull doesn't give up easy. I don't know how many people really have personal contacts with bulls like I do, but they do not give up easy. It takes an awful lot to make them see the error of their ways, so to speak. So with that type of an energy field, if we're not on the right path or we're not going in the right direction, it can take an almost immovable force to stop us. So it is something that we should pay attention to and look at. Are we, cutting off our own nose to spite our face? Are we moving in the direction that's in our best interest? Not just what we want, but is it what we need? So we have a couple of weeks-ish to think about that before the retrograde actually hits, and then we have to work with it. Venus, the planet of love and beauty and attraction, that's in Taurus as well. Now, that's going to change on the 12th, so we've only got a couple more days of this. Venus is the ruling planet of both Taurus and it is Venus. So when you look at that, the planet of attraction, it can encourage us to maybe spend money that we don't have, to buy things that we don't need, to squander our resources if we're not careful. So it's just something to bear in mind. Do you really need it? So just think of that before you invest in something that is a big financial investment. And it can be little. You know, we can spend a lot of money on little things. I know. I go into the dollar store for a spatula and come out $70 or $90 later with dog toys and all kinds of things that, did I really need that? Well, just find a place to put it. So watch that Venus energy in Venus, at least for the next couple of days. Then Mars, the planet of our drive, our passion, that is still in Cancer. That's a loving energy. Cancer is very compassionate, very loving, very loyal. And so we have a drive or a passion to maybe spend time with the family, to be with the family, to do what we would consider home things like gardening or just puttering around the house. I grabbed a paintbrush the other day and just dabbed areas that just need a little dab, you know, a little nick, a little thing like that. And it just felt so good to have the coffee in one hand and the paintbrush in the other and just walk around each room and stop for a second. Take a deep breath, enjoy the room, just enjoy my home, and then look around and say, what needs a little love here with a paintbrush and that little can of paint? And it also gave me some other ideas of things that I could attack a little bit later, and just enjoyable. Then take that coffee or that tea and go stand outside. Beautiful day this week. So just stand outside and look around and say, what do I need to do outside to make my place look better? Maybe wash the porch. The impression that people get, what are they getting when they first walk on your porch and come to your door? Is there cobwebs? Are there boots everywhere? What needs a little help here? Beautiful time to do all that. And with enjoyment, not, oh, I gotta do this, with enjoyment. Now, what was given to us is the number 3. And number 3 allows us to be mentally alert, so we can enjoy that for a couple days before the 21st. So it allows us to be mentally alert and to really, really connect with that creative mind that some of you have more than others. Some of us do. But to enjoy it, to maybe get some really good ideas that we can use and expand, and just, you know, oh, what if I put flowers over here? Or I'm sorry about the guys listening to this. I'm a woman, what am I going to say? You know, maybe I need to look at the tractor and creatively, what do I need to do for that tractor? Maybe it needs a little paint itself, or clean up some of the hydraulic hoses, or. So that creativity allows us to just expand that mind and look at other things that we can do in our relationships, in our life, in our surroundings, in our job, so that it works good for ourselves and for everybody. And number 3 is original. So you take that original energy and you add it to the creative mind, and look out. It really increases that good imagination. We will hate boredom during this time. Boredom will not feel good, but it allows us to cooperate with others so we can really get things done. Caution. Caution, caution. The number 3 can make us critical of others, so it allows us the tool to learn how to be more diplomatic, which I think we're sorely lacking, many of us, not all of us, or in certain circumstances, to be more diplomatic. And we need that. We do. We're losing manners. It's a very big lack of manners and consideration that I'm seeing, not from everybody, but just from certain individuals. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to go back and refresh that. We'll have a need to work freely when we combine where the planets are right now and the number 3. So working freely and without restraints. I find at this time, when you pair all of this, I am particularly sensitive to people telling me what to do. I don't know why that's always bothered me, but it has since I was little. That's a lot of years to be that way. But I have to remind myself that when somebody's telling me what to do, hopefully, positively, optimistically, they're trying to help me not make a mistake. They're trying to keep me out of trouble. They're trying to help me not to waste time and do it the wrong way. But it just grates on me. You have to take that top off the pen before you write. Oh, really? That's the men's room you're going into. Oh, well, I meant to. So maybe it's a help. Don't go in the men's room when you're a woman. But I don't know. It can grate on certain people. So watch how you deliver it. And don't lose your sense of humor with it, because if you do, then it can really be a bone of contention. So we don't want that, do we? So with that energy, it can activate our mental energy. We can positively learn how, with this combination of planets and number 3, to work better under stress. Stress is not always negative. Stress used badly, of course, or experienced badly, is negative. But we can use that to kick our butt and get ourselves going. And then the exhilaration, the oxytocin that and the dopamine that gets kicked into our hormonal cycle gets us working and going, and we feel so good. And we'll want to succeed quickly with this energy. So do something that gives you positive feedback immediately. This is an energy field that I'll use to train puppies. They learn really quickly, and because I've trained puppies for so many years, it's pretty easy for me to get them to sit, to down, to come when called, to know their name. Excuse me. And I like to succeed quickly too. So then it motivates you, it spurs you on to do more. So use that if you can. Now, as I said, there's a weakness to all numbers in numerology. The weakness of the number 3 paired with where the planets are right now can be restlessness. It can be maybe distractibility. So look around, if you have somebody that is hard to focus, they may be more distracted. Even your dogs may find it more difficult to focus on lessons or what you're trying to tell them, the kids. There's a fear of dullness. Bad temper can raise its ugly little head here. So watch people for a bad temper, and then maybe instead of responding to it or at it or taking it personally, look at where it may be coming from and ask if you can help. Is there anything I can do to help? You seem a little out of sorts. Is there something bothering you? Is there anything that I can work with you on? You may be rebuffed, and that's okay. You can take it. Your ego isn't always in the way. But it also opens a door for somebody that might feel that they need help. Beware of carelessness. When you combine the number 3, where the planets are right now, and the coming retrograde, carelessness can mean a fall. It can mean slip. It can mean doing something stupid like having the chainsaw jump onto your leg. Be very careful. Our minds aren't working as quickly as they can. Our reflexes to get out of the way. The other day, I went down again. I do a lot of kissing the ground. I've always been clumsy. But the puppy was on a leash and wrapped his little leash around my legs. Normally it's not a problem. I just step over it. But another dog was in the way, so I couldn't sidestep, and down I went. Didn't hurt me, just was hoping nobody saw. Of course, everybody saw. And I just had a laugh and then just kept going. But it's just that kind of a thing. Just be very, very careful of it. Now, the beginning of the week, as far as health goes, our vulnerable parts will be our liver, the hips, already feeling that already, the thighs, your sacrum, the muscles around your hips, your tailbone, all that lumbar energy as well, the vertebrae, the muscles around the lumbar. So please be very cognizant of that. That will be your vulnerable area. We'll need lots of love and tenderness and understanding. Then the middle of the week, that moves down to our backbone, the joints, the knees, our spinal muscles, the patella, the bones, the tendons. So you could have aches in lots of parts of your body, your spleen if you have no spleen, or if you have a spleen that's struggling. So with that, just be tender with your body. Be available for the communication that your body gives to you. What do you need? My heating pad is in full use right now, around the joints and that, so that we don't aggravate anything. Nice, warm, relaxing, soothing kind of an energy. Then as we move towards the end of the week, this week, our calves, the ankles could be very weak, so be careful not to twist your ankle, the shins, the forearms, the muscles in the forearms, and thyroid. If you have any issues with thyroid, it could jump up at you. So just be aware, that's all. We don't have to become a psycho, but we need to be aware. Our body tries to communicate with us on many levels that maybe we don't pay attention to. Now, the cards that I pulled just quickly, they're suggesting that there's going to be a lot of change that we need to look at, but it might be slow in coming. So just, take our time with trying to think about things and what do I need to do to enact some change. It's very possible that things will start to, pick up as the energy starts to increase as summer comes, that the change will start to kick in. This is physical, which is money, security, comforts, health. So all of this could be just a little doldrummy right now, but when it starts to move, it's going to start to move. And one of the other cards is suggesting that sorrow has been acute for so many people. We have all lost people. Some have lost more than others, and that acute pain of the loss of these relationships and the loss of the people, the loss of our jobs, the loss of our sense of security with the pandemic, the loss of so many things. The universe is suggesting to us to focus now on what we've gained and where we need to go with some of the lessons that we've learned. And can we make this a little better experience? So they're saying the pain is ending. If we can let it go, it's going to end. And then we can work in recovery, knowing that the worst is over, and that separation of security and entitlement, where we think the hydro should be on all the time and we should never have an hour without it, is accepted, and understanding that there's a new paradigm, food chain issues, lack of lettuce, and that we have to deal with it. We can just not allow the hurt to linger and be less harsh on things, and recognize that there's going to be a severance of some kind, even if it's with security, and then don't dwell on the past hurts. Don't linger in regret and depression. They're asking us to look at it, yes, to own it, and how do we positively work with it and move ahead. So they're saying if we can let it go, the heartache can end, and we can stay involved in painful situations and work stuck in final stages and work with suffering and unbearable lingering pain, or we can pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and move towards recovery. That's going to be our choice. Now, on the 11th of this week, so that's April the 11th, that's the Tuesday, the Sun and Jupiter are going to align. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and the Sun is positive and warm and harmony. So when you take the two of them aligning, there's an abundance of teaching here. So there's an expansion that is headed our way. It's not just on the 11th, but the 11th is the critical point. We'll maybe feel it on the 10th, and maybe feel it all the way to the 13th or the 14th. But Jupiter being the planet of expansion, dream big. It's our teacher. It teaches us to reach out. Jupiter is the happy teacher. So use that energy with the Sun to move your life in a really good direction. And we're still feeling the effects of that full moon that was in Libra. And that full moon allowed in Libra harmony and looking at our relationships and going for deeper relationships and a deeper connection. It lets us want to really, really grab a hold of the meaning in our lives. What blocks are we working with? What insecurities are holding us back? And that's what we're supposed to be looking at for this new energy field. And there's going to be an eclipse coming, and that's the 19th and the 20th. Now, that's not in this week that I'm talking, but some of us sensitive people feel it ahead of time. It's a hybrid eclipse. It's a solar eclipse, and it's in a new moon, and the new moon is new, fresh beginnings, brand new. It's a very high sensitive time. So some of you may be crying. Some of you, one of my friends said, I don't know what's the matter with me. She said, I don't know. Everything bothers me. Just everything bothers me. And that's what this highly sensitive time can be doing, or just being aware. It doesn't have to be bothered, but being highly aware and highly sensitive. It prepares us for the transition that some of us are going to be making. It prepares us for being aware that doors are going to be opening for some of us, and that there's a new world coming, and that a new state can be allowed and brought into our lives. So all these opportunities, kids, are coming at us. On that note, I will let you experience and enjoy this next week. I really sincerely want to thank Charlie O'Brien. He's the one that did the website. He's put us on Spotify, on Apple iTunes podcasts, on Amazon Music podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube. He will give me the link and I will post it on Facebook for this week's this week's YouTube. So subscribe if you can. It all helps. And I again can't thank Charlie enough for doing all the work that he's put into everything. He has also archived 4 or 5 of the last podcasts in case you've missed them on my website, which is www.terriworld.com, that he created as well. Thank you so much, Charlie. And if you need me, for your own personal reading, you are more than welcome to text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts. Thanks again, everybody. Talk to you next week, God willing. Have yourself a wonderful, sunny week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com, TERRI world.com.